entertainment, news, and politics. It's all right here with Michelle Meow.
Welcome back to Swirl, your A through Z, covering the LGBT, LMNOP, and everyone in between show. I'm Michelle Meow, your host. Sorry about the little confusion there. It just happens sometimes. And plus, I needed a beer earlier. That happens sometimes.
Live television.
We have to be celebrating something. Anyway, we're continuing our discussion on marriage equality. As you know, just some historical cases that the Supreme Court has taken and have heard in the past couple days. Defense of Marriage Act with Edie Windsor. They're discussing that and the constitutionality of it. And also Proposition 8 and how that all works out. So our next guest, very special to me. I've known the couple for a really long time. I've known both he and his husband, Stuart Gaffney and John Lewis, and they are with Marriage Equality USA. So Stuart, welcome to Swirl.
Hi, thank you. It's great to be here.
So it's just you, right? Or do we have John as well?
No.
Yep, it's just you. But you guys are both there in D.C.
Yes, we're here together, and we've been on the steps of the Supreme Court much of the day. It's been a historic moment, and the atmosphere here is electric. Change is in the air.
So you've been with, John for 25 years now, I think. I mean, because the last time we had talked, it was probably like 20 years, right?
Yes, we've been together 25 years, and in fact, I'll let you in a secret, we just celebrated 26.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you.
So just really quick, your background, in 2004, you guys got married.
That's right.
But that was also during the time where, it became void or null, I guess. We were in that weird limbo in California, right?
Yeah, over 4,000 couples got married in San Francisco City Hall, but unfortunately, the California Supreme Court said that the city of San Francisco did not have the authority to perform those marriages. They were declared null and void, and that's what led to the lawsuit that went to the California Supreme Court in 2008, which said that the fundamental freedom to marry is guaranteed to all Californians. Over 18,000 couples legally married in 2008. We were one of the lucky ones. And then Proposition 8 was passed.
Okay, so now that the court is hearing the Proposition 8 case, and it looks like a lot of people are feeling positive that the Supreme Court will vote in our favor. How does that feel for you and John, having been together for over 20 years? So now just celebrating your 26th year. Does it feel like we're there, we're inching there? It's finally coming.
Well, when I met John 26 years ago in 1987. I met him at a house party. We really hit it off, and a week later, a friend of mine said, "Have you met anybody new? What's going on in your life?" And I said, "I think I've met my future husband." But,
Wow.
Way back in 1987, I meant, this is serious. Like, I think he's the one. I think this is the guy I want to spend my life with. He feels like family. But at that point, we didn't dream that we would be living in a United States that is on the verge of legalizing marriage equality from coast to coast. And it may happen with these historic Supreme Court cases this year, but even if it doesn't, the change is happening before our eyes. The momentum in the country right now seems unstoppable. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and we know it's going to be very soon.
Well, you and John both work for Marriage Equality USA, so your work, your life is activism, and you're working, to legalize same-sex marriages across the country. As far as the work goes, let's say if you're bracing for the end, what should we do? What would we do if we got the worst news ever in June?
Well, the good news is that the work we're doing is the work we do every day. The single most important thing we're all doing is coming out and telling our stories. We see that at the highest levels. When President Obama came out for marriage equality less than a year ago, he said that he was influenced by having his own daughters sitting around the dinner table talking about their classmates who had two moms or two dads, and why should they be treated any differently? And then when Republican Senator Portman just over a week ago became the first Republican senator to endorse marriage equality, he said he did it because his own son is gay, and he wants all his children to have the same rights, the same ability to marry the person that they love. Now, some people criticized Senator Portman and said, well, you wouldn't do it for your constituents, you wouldn't do it for your colleagues, but you'll do it for your own son. And while I understand that argument, at the same time, this is what is making the change happen before our eyes. We're telling the truth of our lives, we're telling our stories, and it's changing hearts and minds.
So, Stuart, one last question for you before we let you go. If it is great news by June and the Defense of Marriage Act is struck down or found unconstitutional, as well as Proposition 8, will you and John get married again?
Well, the good news for us is that we're the lucky class of 2008, those marriages that happened before Proposition 8 was passed, we are still legal. So what that means instead is that we get to attend a lot of friends' weddings. We know a lot of people who have just been waiting to plan that special date when Proposition 8 is taken off the books. And there'll be two reasons to celebrate, right? Wedding Day and the restoration of the freedom to marry in California. So luckily that means we don't have to have any more anniversaries, but we just have to buy a lot more wedding gifts.
Absolutely.
But when wedding bells ring again in the Golden State, it's going to be a great day, and we really feel more confident than ever after this week's historic hearings that day is coming really soon.
Well, Stuart, I will let you get some sleep and go snuggle with John. I know you guys were up all morning, early morning, and it's late there.
It's been a long day. Yes.
It's been a long day there in D.C., so thank you so much for sharing and for being here with us on Swirl.
Great. It's great to talk to you, and here's to equality.
Yeah, absolutely. Equality!
All right.
And my sweater full of hearts. And the HRC stripes.
Yes, it's
kind of, sort of.
No, it is. It's cute.
Marriage equality now.
Yeah, exactly. So that wraps up and concludes our marriage equality special here on Swirl. Don't forget, we're here live every Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time at tradiov.com/SF. You want more of Mia Macy, our transgender inclusive voice, head to swirlradio.com.
Thank you.
You can also like us on Facebook, search Swirl Radio. I'd like to give thanks to our guests, Stuart Gaffney, Melanie Nathan, and of course Chris Stoll of the National Center for Lesbian Rights, our beautiful co-host Mia Macy, and I guess to you, our fans. Thank you for joining us here on Swirl on our marriage equality special. Michelle Meow with Swirl saying goodnight. Mwah!